the things that we are committed to at MYA is continually listening to the people that we work with and taking those lessons back and making what we do better every time. I think one of our key takeaways in this final session is that we've got a shorter podium next year. It's kind of me so much, but there were a number of people for whom that was an issue. Before we wrap up, I want to make a couple of very important thank yous. The first of which is to someone who was thanked previously but who was not here to hear it, and that is Dr. Nesbitt and the health department, who were instrumental both in funding this program and in providing staff support all the way along the way. So if you guys could give a giant round of applause. They are on the front lines of several of these issues every day in our city, and they are phenomenal at their jobs. It's just their jobs are so big. So thank you for helping to mobilize this next set of advocates on many of the issues that you care about. The second set of people that I want to give a huge, huge thank you to are Sasha, Amanda, and Nina, who have been the architects of this program from beginning to end. They have designed it, they have executed it, and they have every single week taken the things that you have said and said, oh, we can make this better both the next session and for next year. So a huge, giant It is our mission, it is our belief that in order to be effective advocates, every person needs to be inspired, needs to be informed, needs to have skills like listening, empathy, critical thinking, public speaking. That every person who is going to be an effective advocate needs to have the confidence that comes from experience. And you will have to be the judge of whether we were successful at those things. But you have, every person who is sitting in this room as a participant of this program, got to speak to public officials. You got to speak to Metro Council people. You got to interact with business leaders. You got to interact with community leaders. You got to look at an issue in depth and decide what you thought about it. And then you got to have the experience of trying to bring a group into some kind of consensus about what you might do about it. We will see whether that does, in fact, make you an effective advocate. But I'll tell you, after what I saw today, I believe it will. I believe it passed. At the very beginning of this program, I said there were three things that we were trying to do. That piece was the first thing. The second piece was to build a cohort of young people from every part of this city, from backgrounds that are rich and backgrounds that are poor, from schools in every part of our community, and build a cohort of people who say, for the rest of their lives, oh yeah, I remember you. Oh yeah. We did that thing where we sang crazy songs, we did the stuff, and we stood up and we made fools of ourselves in front of everyone, and I stood up and said this. I remember that thing that you said 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And I said to you at the beginning of this program that in signing on, you were not signing on for a 4-month commitment. You were signing on for a lifetime. Because what you were agreeing as being part of this program was not to agree with one another, not necessarily to support one another, but to always listen to one another. You have committed to take one another's calls and to listen to what each other has to say. And if you do agree, and if you do support, to act together. That is the second objective. And the third and final objective that we had for this program was to prove to the leaders of this community that your voice mattered. That you were not just window dressing to be pulled out whenever there was something related to kids, to be paraded around to look at kids. Some of the city leaders might notice. That might sound familiar. But to be meaningfully engaged, to be brought into the process, not for who you will be, but for who you are now. And in that piece, I know that we have been successful. That you have been successful. Because I talked to some of those city leaders. I heard what they had to say about this. And I will offer you this email that I got after a senior staff meeting that many of the senior staff of the mayor's office who were here sent me this email. We are excited to invite the members of the Vacant and Abandoned Properties team to the first backstack meeting, which is a meeting of all of the city agencies that are involved in dealing with vacant and abandoned properties. It will be on April 29th from 4 to 5:30 here in the Centennial. Already, your impact is being felt. What is on us is to continue to provide those kinds of opportunities, is to continue to find ways to plug you in, to say, hey, this is a place where you can come. Dr. Nesbitt, I'm looking at you. Anthony Smith, I'm looking at you. And for those of you watching this on YouTube at home, the officials who are going to get this, we're looking at you. You know who they are. It's your job to engage them, and it's your job to answer that call. That's your job. It does not end here. This ends with our city being a better place because we will get it. That's what this is. We're going to do some fun stuff now. The business part is over. In just a second, we're going to dismiss you guys out there. We have cake and ice cream. Okay. About how you guys can stay connected. Oh, there. Sorry.
Okay, so who here remembers the guy who talked to us the last session about the internet and how we can use it to communicate and navigate stuff? Okay, good. Well, I got the idea that to have a Facebook group that we're all in, where essentially you can post any sort of advocacy related things, such as like any kind of petitions you want to sign for any sort of opportunities for any kind of things related to what we are doing here or anything else that you guys are interested in. And then all of the other people in the group who see it can either respond to it within that group or can actually take it and post it onto their walls. And it can be a catalyst for getting messages out there to the public. So it's called Metro Youth Advocates 2013. It's a really creative name. And so everyone who has Facebook could either sometime tonight, like right now, or when they can go and join that group on Facebook, then we can keep in touch and we can continue this further. So,
there are a number of opportunities that we're going to offer to you during the course of the year. So I will say this: check your email. Check your email. We have coming up this summer the Kentucky Teen Institute, which Stacy has talked to you about, which is looking for advocate teams. We have training conferences. We have a program that simulates state government this fall, MYA. And I have never been prouder to have